welcome to another episode of Gossip Finance, where I am your host, Lacey Singer.
And I'm Duncan Sandlin, and welcome everybody. How's everybody doing? How are you today, Lacey?
I'm fabulous. I'm looking forward to talking about some good Trump drama because apparently that's stacking up on us.
Oh God, isn't it always? I'm sick of this guy already. But we're gonna cover it today because we gotta do it. So anyway, so let's begin with the Joe Biden situation with the impeachment, which is now. I mean, it was bullshit from the beginning, but now it's definitely bullshit because their key witness, the only real witness they had, got arrested twice by the FBI for lying to the FBI about this. And it was all bullshit. And so we're going to jump into that.
Oh my God, it's all so stupid.
Yeah, so the whole thing was bullshit. It's just amazing to me. But yeah, not amazing. We knew it was bullshit, but to find out that bad.
House Republicans trying to impeach President Biden will meet behind closed doors with the president's brother, James. This interview comes as a series of Biden family business associates have testified that the president was not involved in his family's foreign business dealings, which undermines the central allegation that is part of the Republican investigation. On top of that, the stunning revelation overnight that one of the informants relied on by House Republicans said he was given information by the Russians, information the prosecutors say is false. And now, for the first time, we are hearing from Republicans who are processing this, you might say, spinning this news. Let's get right to CNN anchor and...
So not only was he lying, he was doing the dialogue the Russian government gave him.
Oh my gosh.
So he's a Russian asset.
Yeah.
God, wow.
You know, it's funny. Trump is the one that's always...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Trump is always the one who's claiming that there's this crazy witch hunt against him. But actually, here's where the witch hunt is, right? They're just like, just looking for things that don't exist.
Oh, no. It's just crazy. And then it's a little bit worse because... I mean, now they're trying to spin this as well. He's still reliable, and he's not. The FBI's arrested him twice now. He looks like he's going to do prison time for lying to the FBI. On top of that fact, the whole case was bullshit to begin with. They had no evidence other than really this guy, and that was it. So, I mean, it was kind of pathetic. I mean, the whole deal coming at it. We'll go back over here real quick. So, the indicted FBI informant tied to Trump Associates, records. So this guy Alexander Smirnov was the other thing. Okay, so this is the second part. So not only did he take money from the Russians, he was paid $600,000 by a company that's tied directly to Trump. So it's doubly bad. So the American company that
Wasn't there a little flow chart? They drew a little chart of how it all ties back to Trump or something. I'm not gonna lie, I like a good flow chart. I gotta say, that's the teacher in me.
I don't know that there's a flow chart. It's pretty simple though. It's not that complicated. So he was accused of lying to the FBI about Hunter Biden, right? But he's connected to a UK company that's owned by Trump business associates in Dubai. And so this has to do with Saudi Arabians basically hiring this guy for $600,000 for God knows what. So in 2020, when this all started, was paid $600,000 by a company called Economic Transformation Technologies. That same year, Smirnoff...
See, there it is.
Yeah, began lying to the FBI about the Bidens. So, there it is. There was a spoiler. So the Smirnoff...
That's what I'm talking about. Look, you don't even have to read it. Look, it just points it right out.
Right. The CEO, Christopher Condon, who's along with these two guys, Sahal and Farouk, all of them were tied to Trump. So it's really, I mean, there's only one step of break there. I mean, it pretty much goes right back and forth, back to Donald Trump. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, there's like maybe only a sort of a couple little stair steps there.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big tunnel. It's just like 2 steps away.
Well, and the thing about it that cracks me up is they're the ones that always do the conspiracy theories, Taylor Swift and the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce and all that shit. And it's this big roundabout, confusing thing that doesn't make sense. This is directly, hey, Trump's associates paid this guy $600,000, and then he started lying to the FBI with dialogue that he was fed from the Russian government. That's not complicated at all.
I know it.
Oh, man. So I'm going to jump in. Ben Mysalis has a bit on this, and you can see on his face that he thinks this is just as funny as we do.
It is an utter bloodbath at the Republican National Committee right now. Lara Trump took over as its co-chair.
Oh. I don't know what's going on with that clip. Hang on a second. Yeah, that clip's going crazy. But we can clip that up. But yeah, no, it's just the whole thing is just terrible. I mean, they've lost the plot completely with that. So the Biden impeachment thing pretty much dead in the water. It's not going anywhere. And Mike Johnson doesn't even really want to talk about it anymore. He's trying to ignore that it happened. So it just cracks me up. But we'll go back to this one. So actually, we'll skip to this next clip. But he does talk about new segment. Sorry, that was kind of weird. We're having some technical things. So new segment. So Trump now, on top of his buddies paying off this guy to inform on Biden, basically they ousted the Ronna McDaniel, who was running the Republican National Committee. So she's gone, right? And she was doing terribly. She wasn't raising money. Everything was horrible. But it's not really her fault. So Trump's now replaced it with another guy, and his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, who we talked about last time, who he didn't even know it was her until like years later. She was on the news talking about him. Yeah, the whole family hated her for a long time, but now she's kissed his ass enough that he's put her. She's number 2 now at the RNC, and she's control of the money. So all the money's going to go to pay his legal fees. We were joking about, wouldn't that be great if they dumped all their money into his legal fees and not into their campaigns? Well, that's what's happening.
Oh my God.
So we're skipping.
Like, you cannot make this stuff up.
I know. It's so stupid, but it's one of those things where, hey, when your opponent makes a mistake, don't correct them. Just let them do it. So here it is.
The funny thing is we were making that stuff up, and then it became the reality. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I didn't think the Republicans would be stupid enough to let him do it, but they did. C'est la vie. Here we go. Ben. Come on, Ben.
It is an utter bloodbath at the Republican National Committee right now. Lara Trump took over as its co-chair. It's now the Trump National Committee. They're purging over 60 employees there who I think they thought they were going to be the ones doing the purging, but see you later. You're not loyal enough to the Trump National Committee or the Trump family. They are now installing in senior level positions some of the most incompetent Trump loyalists, people like Christina Bobb, who either moonlights as Donald Trump's lawyer, custodian of records, or a right-wing propaganda host. It depends what it is each day.
So Christina Bobb, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, she was the lawyer that handled the documents case and lied to the feds.
Oh, man. Let's just pick them some more, can't we?
I know. This is just so bad. And here's her talking. Oh, man. Well, he's going to go forward a little bit.
She's now being installed at a senior level critical position at the RNC. She will now be the senior counsel for election integrity. She is an election denier. She is a pure Trump cultist. And she's the person who, after Mar-a-Lago was searched by the Department of Justice and the FBI, she was out there saying the documents were planted. She was saying that She wasn't sure if there were nuclear materials or not. Even Laura Ingraham on Fox.
It's just, oh man, we're having some internet problems today. You can hear me okay, right?
You're chopping up a little bit. You're not really bad, but yeah, it's a little choppy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but that's what's the thing about it is that's the case. Is now they've got all the nutbags in there. So like Laura Bob and all them, and she trying to deny the election. She'd go on and say that no, the documents were actually planted. I mean, they stored boxes and boxes of documents in his bathroom and under his stage at Mar-a-Lago, and then recently they had a guy come forward and said that, who'd been working for Trump for like 20 plus years, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I remember loading boxes onto a plane when the FBI came in to search the place." So they're literally taking evidence out as the feds are coming in the front door. It's like a cartoon.
Oh, jeez. It's like a bad farce, man.
Well, but it's great news for the Democrats in a lot of ways because right now it's just things are not going well for the Republicans. And it's going to keep going that way. So we'll watch a little bit more, but they laid off 60-something people, and that's now just all the Trump loyalist nut jobs. So, I mean, at this point in the campaign, you're laying off that many senior people. By the time you replace them and they get up to speed, it'll be the election. I mean,
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great plan.
No, it's insane.
Not a plan for success.
No, it's psychotic. So we'll go into this, but yeah, they just tanked a ton of people. So here's CBS.
The National Committee fired dozens of staffers. The team is made up of Trump loyalists, including the former president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. Braxton Booker and Sabrina Rodriguez join us now. Braxton is a national correspondent for Politico, and Sabrina is national politics reporter for The Washington Post. Thanks so much for being here. I know I've seen you both recently out on the road, so good to be back here in D.C. to talk about all of our findings. I do want to start with RNC, though, because this is a fascinating dynamic where you have Trump leadership team handpicked is kind of reorganizing the structure at the RNC. And Sabrina, I'm curious what you think about what this reorganization will mean for Trump as he, as soon as tonight, could officially clinch the number of delegates needed to win the nomination.
I mean, really seeing this happen is not a surprise to many of us. It's really a continuation of what we've seen of, Donald Trump really trying to take over the party infrastructure, to say, he's not just a presidential candidate, but he is the leader of the Republican Party, and that's where we see, him handpicking the leadership. I think what's going to be interesting in the months to come is what are those priorities for the RNC, because the Republican National Committee is not supposed to just look at the president; it is also supposed to look at Senate candidates, House candidates, down ballot races.
And she's kind of hit it; she's soft-soaked it. But that's the thing is, they have to somehow fund the Senate candidates, because it's right now, the Senate's going to be a close race. So it really comes down to who can get out there and get the ads. Because honestly, how many of you know who your senators are? How many people really know? They're going to do it based on what they see in the ads, based on what they get in their voter pamphlets, if anything, right? So the ads are going to make a big difference, right? The outreach is going to make a huge difference, because a lot of these are going to be decided by, a few hundred votes, 1,000 votes, whatever it is. So the ability to have the funding is a big deal. So where's the priority going to be with how do we organize and fund that? Well, just to give you a comparison, right now the RNC, through Trump, has set up their headquarters in Palm Springs, Florida, near Mar-a-Lago, where it's more convenient for him, right? As where the Biden campaign and the DNC have set up all of their efforts out of Wisconsin, which is a major swing state that Biden has to win. And where are they focusing all their money? In all the swing states, and that's where they are. They're in the Midwest where it counts. So that'll be interesting to see, because they're going to be throwing their money and attention there. The other thing about
Give us Wisconsin, give us Ohio, give us some of these states, right?
Right. Plus, you got to figure if Trump's problem too is one, he's got all these fines, but he's got all these legal fees, which are what, almost $10 million a month, I'm guessing. It's got to be close to that or higher. And the question is can he make up that difference? Can he do it? And you know, we'll see what happens with all that. But I don't know. I mean, right now, where was it? Here, let's see if this comes up. But yeah, I mean, right now, at the beginning of the year, the RNC only had $8 million left, which is nothing.
That's not even a month worth of his legal fees.
No. And on top of that fact, it was really bad for them because that 8 million situation was coming off of, they'd only made 86 or 7 million the previous year, and that was, if you factor inflation, that was the worst campaign raising year they've had since 1993. In 30 years, that's their worst year. So I mean, it's just been. I mean, it's gonna be. They're gonna be bled out. It's gonna be really difficult for them going forward to figure out what's gonna happen here. So, I mean, it's just amazing to me. But they're just. I don't know what to say. The Republicans are just in deep shit. Because right now they're now, even with Ron McDaniel out, they're not raising any more money, and the Democrats have 3 or 4 times as much. And they're raising it in records, and especially after Biden's State of the Union address, which was amazing. I mean, they're going to have a ton of money.